Sejun is a student focused on his studies. When one day on the bus, he has a problem with his hose down below. He put on his father's underwear, making his little snake look more noticeable than necessary. A woman nearby thought he was pointing a weapon at her, so she hit him, and to make matters worse, everyone recorded the scene of his humiliation. So, in an instant, he becomes the laughingstock of the school and the target of everyone's mockery. Furious, he walked away, but accidentally tripped over Yoon Jong-hee, the most desired girl in school. The fried chicken stained her perfect jacket, so the protagonist apologized to her. To his surprise, she was not bothered by him having stained her, and with a lot of love, he felt the world stop for an instant in front of her face. Later, his friend confessed a terrible truth to him, that she was dating a college guy, which broke his poor heart. His friend says he could never have dated her. He insists that he change his way of being and his image to stand out among the girls. Because of this, in the music choir, he watches his platonic love play the piano, while he fantasizes that they have children. Then one day, a senior student discovers that the protagonist is in love with her and offers to run with him for the council elections to improve his reputation. Powerful people are respected, and I'm sure that if we win the elections, that girl will fall in love with you, he tells him. After accepting, a guy passed him a drawing of his crush playing the piano without clothes. Scared, he decides to hide the sheet, and when the boy asked for it back, he refused to give it to him, protecting his girl. He is willing to fight for her, and in the end, they get caught and are punished by having to clean the classroom, although he is proud of himself. While this was happening, the protagonist ran desperately to the bathroom with his stomach feeling like an earthquake. There, a group of girls were gossiping, so he pretends he's okay, but his stomach couldn't hold on any longer. He ran to the second-floor bathroom where, before entering, a guy with a leader's attitude stopped him. He says this bathroom is occupied, and suddenly a guy smoking peeks out and asks who it is. The bully, looking at the protagonist, says he is a nobody. After this humiliation, he discovers a surprise. It turns out that Kwak Sang-hyun is reprimanding the bullies for smoking. Kwak Sang-hyun is the most powerful guy in the school, whom even the bullies are afraid of and obey his orders. He even broke one's glasses, and the protagonist smiles with satisfaction. But Kwak Sang-hyun discovers him and calls him. They both walk together while the bullies look at them with envy. Kwak Sang-hyun heard that he was planning to run for school president. He is interested in running with him. At that moment, he puts his hand on his shoulder, and he feels the world change around him as if it were brighter. And for a moment, he notes what it is to feel people's respect until he sees his course grades. His smile disappeared. It's his friend's mockery because he fell to the number 32 spot in the school. Then his colleague confesses his trick to falsify the grades and thus prevent his mother from scolding him. In the end, he does it, and his mother falls for it and gives him energy drinks as a reward. After this, he gains some confidence to talk to his crush. He tells her that she plays the piano very well, and she is surprised that he is talking to her and thanks him. But this joy ended soon. Some guys set their sights on him for mockery and bully him relentlessly. He tries to fight, but they are too many, and he has to suffer it. In the end, the protagonist explains that it is his birthday, so he gets them to leave the bullying for another day. But while chatting with the director, he discovers something else, that Won-di had been manipulating him all this time. All the talks about how valuable he is were an act, and in reality, he was the last person he thought of for vice president. So in a plot twist, he sends Won-di packing and decides to run with Kwak Sang-hyun for the elections. After that, Kwak Sang-hyun calls him, and without expecting it, he discovers that he invited the girl with glasses to be vice president with him. She is the smartest girl in school, but also the most arrogant. The guy declares that the two would be a great team, even making a good couple. The two of them look at each other with disgust. and she says, "I don't like you at all." Then he is so frozen that he suddenly suffers a heart problem. And when he goes home, he meets Kwak Sang-hyun with his beautiful sister, who looks at him with curiosity. The protagonist appears nervous, and he asks if he is talking to his girlfriend on his phone, to which he replies that he wishes he was, but he doesn't have a girlfriend. Then the sister sat with him on the bus, where she doesn't miss the opportunity to touch his arm, which causes an emotional moment. She thinks he's very handsome, and she also touches her hair, an indicator that she likes him a little. Suddenly, a very handsome biker throws a cigarette at him. He looks like a bad boy, and the protagonist dreams of being like him. After this, they go to a Ferris wheel, a zoo, and have fun in the most unexpected places. And she even puts a pink bow on his head, saying that he looks beautiful. After this, they took a selfie, and the trust between them became so close that she put her arm over him. However, then she left in a car with a mysterious man whom he didn't see. Then, while the protagonist's heart hurts, Kwak Sang-hyun gives him a future Apple Watch as a thank you, and he, moved, wonders if this means they are friends now. The next day, his crush surprises him during recess. He stops everything to listen to her sweet voice, and she asks what he did yesterday after leaving school. He reveals that he was with a girl, and he notices jealousy in her eyes. She feels betrayed, and he gets angry because she has no right to be furious with him, since they are not dating. After this, the class president tells him, "Although you are elected vice president of the school, I will continue to be the president of this class. Don't dream of anything else." In the middle of the discussion, he scratched his face, and she discovered his Apple Watch, so she yelled for all the students to come closer. The embarrassed protagonist confessed that someone had given it to him, but a guy said loudly that he was surely a thief and had stolen it. In fact, one of them took off his own watch and put on Sejun's as if it belonged to him. Just then, Kwak Sang-hyun entered with an imposing presence. Everyone there stepped aside as if an angel had entered the classroom. First, he warned the thief to never steal from his friend again, and then he told everyone that the watch came from him because he had given it to him as an act of affection. Then he asked him to meet with him that night, leaving everyone silent and amazed. So that night he went to his house when 3 girls were gossiping in front of him about the most beautiful boy in school. He was not among them and decided to cough to announce his presence to the girls, who, upon noticing him, immediately moved aside to let him pass. And for a brief moment, the protagonist felt powerful, as if he were the leader of a mafia gang whom he admired with passion. As soon as he set foot in Kwak Sang-hyun's house, he was totally impressed. This house is so luxurious that it has a cafeteria, a library, and 2 independent basements. He accompanies Kwak Sang-hyun upstairs, where he shows him an exclusive room for him, equipped with state-of-the-art technology and completely soundproof. Kwak Sang-hyun even gave him an access card so he could enter and exit as he pleased. He understood that Kwak Sang-hyun came from a very wealthy family, which gives him power over others. But he asks for one thing: "You must be kind to each other and get along, because if not, we will lose the elections." Between the girl with glasses and him, there is hatred, and also some love, because those who fight also love each other. Then in class, a big problem arises because a boy painted a picture of the naked crush playing the piano. The girl looked furious, looking for whoever had dared to draw this. Among the boys, there is a suspect named One Day, who could not deny anything, since the illustration had his signature on the back. He looked at the protagonist expecting some kind of help, but he looked away. Then the tension increased, and the teacher compared the handwriting and confirmed that it was, without a doubt, One Day's, who was caught and, not knowing where to escape, decided to flee forward. He accused Sejun of having revealed the paper with the drawing, and in front of everyone he calls him a fool and makes fun of him for not having friends. The students have fun with this, and Sejun gets up, fed up. They tell him, If you are capable of drawing a naked woman now, face the consequences of your actions. Wondae called him a traitor, which ignited the fury of the protagonist, who turned red with anger. He no longer allows them to make fun of him. So Wondae, under the strict supervision of the teacher, had no choice but to kneel down and apologize to the girl. Then the protagonist is invited along with the older students to a party, which surprises him, as he didn't think that someone as simple as him would be taken into account. Upon arrival, Kwak Sang-hyun personally welcomed him, dressed casually, while he wore the school uniform. Then the boy explained to him that at this party there are 2 rules. It is forbidden to take photos and take out the phone, even if it is only to check the time. Sejun felt like he was entering Area 51. They forced him to take off his shoes, and as soon as he passed, some girls made fun of him, as they thought he was the cook. Then he saw a line of young people that turned out to be for leaving their phones before entering. This mysterious party was, of course, like a brilliant parallel world of exotic lights and unrestrained partying. People don't stop dancing, of kissing each other, this party being an absolute chaos. In the middle, Kwak Sang-hyun introduced the protagonist and the girl with glasses in front of everyone as his apprentices in the elections. Then he talks, which awakens screams among the girls who call him an adorable boy and want to kiss him. At the end of the speech, they were introduced one by one. Kwak Sang-hyun's sister was happy to see him. Then a dog-faced boy appeared with blue drinks. They insisted that the protagonist drink a glass. He hesitates to do it, which caused people to insist more. But Kwak Sang-hyun says that if he comes back smelling of alcohol, his mother would give him a beating. Then a boy provoked him by insulting him, so he, acting brave, swallowed all the blue liquid, leaving everyone there astonished. However, this liquid is such strong alcohol that it enters all parts of his brain, causing Sejun to become a new man. He was the king of the party, but something there went wrong. The boy from before started to provoke him simply for fun, and he, fed up with all those times he had been bullied, lunged at him, punching him in the face. By doing this, he feels that he releases part of his soul. But unfortunately, it has consequences, because someone nearby secretly recorded the incident with their phone. Then they lifted the protagonist and left Kwak Sang-hyun alone with the troublemaker. He mocked him, asking, "Why did you bring this hillbilly here?" But he put him in his place immediately, saying, "Don't you see that I introduced him before, which means he is my friend? You're a pain. Get out of my sight." While he is having fun, the girls surround him, making it the best day of his life. But the alcohol had an effect on him, and he ended up passing out. The next morning, he woke up without clothes in an unknown room. He doesn't know how he got there, and when he was going to relax, he almost had a heart attack when he saw that he slept in the bed with a girl. He looked at her better, and it turns out that she is Kwak Sang-hyun's sister. Confused, he tried to reconstruct what had happened the night before, but he didn't understand anything clearly. While observing the girl's beauty, he left without making a sound and hinted to his friend that he had slept with a girl. The friend didn't think it was possible, and he assured him that it was true, but he doesn't know what he did. A boy heard this and spread the rumor in the school that he slept with a woman. So his reputation as a Latin lover increased, and he continuously receives girls because of his appearance, and he, excited, sends heart gestures to the girls. In class, the president showed him her support and even asked to take a photo together. The protagonist was surrounded by the girls in the classroom, discovering how good it feels to be loved by beautiful angels. However, this arouses the envy of the other students. Fed up, they dragged him to an abandoned school warehouse to intimidate him. They pushed him against the wall like in an action scene. He looks totally humiliated, thinking that life is unfair. Why does bullying always happen to me? The biker approached him, discovering that he had a red mark on his neck, and without asking for anything in return, promise to help him with revenge. Next, the police arrive, and out of nowhere they arrest the bully and put him in the car to take him to the police station. He wonders what kind of black magic the biker did. Then there are 16 days left until the elections, and suddenly, the bully enters after spending the night in jail. His appearance is dirty, and with his face full of hatred, he stands in front of the protagonist, who also shows no fear in the tension. He discovers that the bully received a terrible beating from the biker, and that's why the other students are no longer afraid of him. In fact, they side with Sejun with the power of friendship, getting more and more votes, unlike Wondae. After this, on the TV news, Wondae suddenly appeared, but not for being involved in some scandal, but for actively collaborating in the arrest of a criminal. He is recognized with a Medal for Citizen Merit, causing the whole school to see him as a true hero. He withdrew with a sad face when Kwak Sang-hyun put his hand on his shoulder, making him look at Wondae. He gives him the advice, never run away from fear. Face it, because if you don't, you will never develop as a person. Therefore, the four of them look defiantly at Wondae, who does not know the danger that is coming to him. Sejun left the school with the girl with glasses, and out of curiosity, he asked her what her life is like and if she has had a boyfriend, but she is not an open book. He didn't give up and asked her if she wanted to go eat, but she didn't pay attention. At that moment, Kwak Sang-hyun's sister appeared out of the blue, sitting next to him, which aroused jealousy in the girl. They both started to talk, but Sejun's face is more tense than an ironing board due to nerves. This causes the girl to see him as even cuter. Continuing the date, he remembers that she is the girl he slept with, and he gets even more nervous. While she calms him down, Sejun confesses that it was his first time getting drunk, referring to the alcohol incident. The girl downplayed it and says, "Nothing happened between us. We just slept together like two angels in love." This situation embarrassed him, and when he was about to leave, she stopped him and lovingly kissed him sweetly on the lips, opening the gates of heaven for him. This is his first kiss, and he feels that it is one of the best moments of his life. Then she whispered to him, "If you win the elections, I'll give you a French kiss next time." Faced with this, Sejun was left with a racing heart, watching as the girl walked away. But what is clear is that if before he wanted to be president, now his great goal in life is to get another kiss from her. It's his dream. So with 5 days left until the elections, he tries harder. However, a motorcycle suddenly appeared out of nowhere and hit him, causing him to hit his head terribly. But this, instead of stopping him, gives him love fuel in his heart to be stronger. His group puts makeup on him to make him look beautiful after his incident. But the bad thing is that the person who hit him continues to be an unsolved mystery. Sejun's enemy is very elusive with first-hand hiding skills, and no one knows who he is. Although they do distrust the people next to them, as it could be a boy or girl from the school. Although his rivals are convinced that it's just a scratch that he got, and they say that the accident was made up. In the midst of this madness, the friend appears without her glasses, and all the boys are left with their mouths open because of how attractive she looks. In fact, the protagonist can't believe the change she has made, and now he does fantasize about giving her a kiss while all the others drool over her. New boyfriends come out from under the rocks for her, to which she decides to reject them because she is waiting for her true love. Then, the two sides try to scrape every last vote, offering favors to the students in exchange. Free food, more recess time, and a less grumpy teacher. All these promises make the score between the two sides super tied, but Wondae has an ace up his sleeve. They record an interview that looks like a television show. In this, Wondae reveals his most personal side, what his parents want, the names of his pets, and how kind he is to everyone. His followers applaud as if they were his personal fan club, so this gives them a lot of points. That night, the security guard, while walking, finds all of Wandae's posters with their eyes out and painted red as if a psychopath had tortured him. The two teams saw the broken posters, and the teacher immediately asked for the person responsible. As expected, no one owned up, so one from the red team pointed directly to the blue team as the culprits. Sejun, stepping forward, reminded him that the red team was the one who accused him of faking his head injury. So it could have been them who sabotaged the posters and falsely blamed the opposing team. While the tension between the teams increased, the teacher decided to burn all the posters. Then he announced that he would check the security cameras, and all the boys were left silent and scared. The culprit is among them. So there is only one day left until the elections. The two teams prepare their speeches to win every last vote. We see that the blue team is losing against the red one by 12%. So the protagonist is confident that he can turn the result around. The two beautiful girls have a face-to-face fight for their team. The girl in red tells her, "You are just a decorative doll for boys, and in reality, you are good for nothing." To which she responds that being beautiful doesn't mean she has to be dumb, saying that's a prejudice of truly dumb people. And she also says something in English, leaving the girl on the red team completely speechless. This unexpected blow caused the blue team's support percentage to instantly rise to 51%. Suddenly, a student appeared with a suspicious bag, climbed to the rooftop of the tallest building, and while everyone was watching, hung a banner on which they accused Kwak Sang-hyun of holding a party with alcohol with underage students. This creates an atmosphere of mockery and laughter. The boy yells with the megaphone that Kwak Sang-hyun is a criminal, and the student guards try to intervene, but the boy dodges the punch. They finally get him down from up there, but the problem doesn't end. The students begin to receive images of the party in which they drank alcohol. The protagonists look at each other perplexed, feeling how worry runs through their bodies, and upon noticing one day in silence among the crowd, he immediately understands that the photos come from his team. As a consequence, One Day's popularity soared to 57%, while that of the protagonist and Kwak Sang-hyun drastically descended like a roller coaster that doesn't stop falling. Then, while everyone is submerged in panic, the girl says, "Yes, it's true that I drank alcohol and that I didn't kill anyone." I'm sure many of you here have also drunk alcohol and don't say anything, although in Korea, there is a great restriction on minors. To drink alcohol, many do it in secret, and the protagonist's only crime is that they were recorded. Then, when they were about to lose the electoral race, they found a recording of One Day making death threats to another player in a soccer game. They spread this on the internet, and the reputation of the two teams becomes equal. Then, the two leaders defending their team face each other yelling, each one proclaiming that he is the only one worthy of the position of president. The tension between them is so great that they soon start a fight. The teacher ran desperately to separate them, but his efforts had no effect. The students behave like savages. They throw water at each other. They break all the objects in the place, and they throw things into the air without control, even being able to kill people. What was in principle a fair competition with ideals has now become a battle to the death to win regardless of the cost of the damages caused. The electoral campaign ends with a brutal fight, and as punishment, the students are forced to clean up the mess. After this, the police appeared because someone reported an assault. Inside the police car, there is a boy with multiple injuries. This caused nervousness in Kwak Sang-hyun, because it was he who pressured this guy to delete the video of the party since he uploaded it to the internet. The guy responded with a stick, and they had a fight in which he hit him until he left him unconscious. Then the biker, who it turns out was his best friend in secret, sacrifices himself for the elections. He claims to be the culprit, turning himself into the police so that Kwak Sang-hyun can continue and win. After this act of sacrifice and love, it is time for the speeches. Eggs are thrown at Kwak Sang-hyun, but that doesn't stop him, and he admits without reservation that he is narcissistic, just as many called him. He also reveals that the party with alcohol was real. And then it is discovered that the person who told him to confess was Sejun, because he knows that by speaking with the heart and with sincerity, you can truly reach people's souls. This is how he can be a leader. At the end, the students voted, and a few hours later, the teacher with a serene voice announced that the blue team had won by a 1% difference. So they erupted in screams as if they had found true love, while those on the red team remained seated, some on the verge of tears. Sejun officially became the new vice president of the student council. Kwak Sang-hyun approached Won-dae and offered him his respect with a sincere handshake. After this, Sejun, excited to achieve his dream and improve his reputation, decides that the most important thing is to find love. He sat down to talk with a girl with glasses, who is also the vice president, and invited her to have a drink. She says yes, but suddenly she receives an urgent call from her mother about something serious that happened at the police station. His mother explains that she put a reward for whoever discovered who hit him. The police already have the drawing of the person who hit him, and he discovers that it is Kwak Sang-hyun, the boy who seemed to be his friend, but tried to hurt him. He, totally shocked without understanding, runs to the school and tells the director that Kwak Sang-hyun is actually a bad person. The director, not trusting him, shows him a recording in which he entered the school to remove the posters. But upon arriving there, he already found them broken. So this becomes even more confusing. He accuses him of opening old wounds and points out that his behavior may be due to a mental illness called double personality. Then the protagonist leaves desperate and tears off the student council badge and throws it to the ground as a symbol of his resignation. Then Kwak Sang-hyun invites him to his party, where from afar, he takes out his phone and begins to record. Meanwhile, Kwak Sang-hyun and his friends unintentionally reveal that the motorcycle accident was real. They enjoy jokes and alcohol, while Sejun, very angry about the betrayal, throws his appointment letter down, and Kwak Sang-hyun realizes that he is there. It turns out that he didn't invite him, but it was the biker who let him in. Then Sejun asks him an important question. "Why did you ask me to join your electoral campaign?" But Kwak Sang-hyun, instead of answering with words, throws water in his face and then slaps him. He says that before he made him vice president, he was nobody, and he should be proud of having elevated him in the school's social scale. In response, the protagonist threw the watch that Kwak Sang-hyun gave him, and suddenly he understood the reason for the hit and run. Kwak Sang-hyun did it so they would feel sorry for him, and he would win votes. How can he be such a psychopath? Kwak Sang-hyun refuses to confess anything, but the more he insists, the more enraged Kwak Sang-hyun gets, who ends up giving him a tremendous slap on the face, causing screams from those present. They are scared by the aggressiveness of their friend, who declares that he felt so sorry for him and he seems such a fool that that's why he involved him in the elections. Then, despite being seriously injured, Sejun manages to take out his phone and shows that he secretly filmed the entire conversation. Kwak Sang-hyun, in a fit of rage, tries to attack him with a bottle, but they stop him and run to help the protagonist. But this doesn't end here. Kwak Sang-hyun throws a vase that they manage to dodge, but which ends up hitting the window and falling into the middle of the road. Luckily, he didn't hit anyone, but it did cause the police to come. While the biker helps Sejun, who is half injured, to get away, Kwak Sang-hyun is taken away by the police officers. He cries and begs them to call his mother, and Sejun watches this without any kind of pity or remorse, because bad people deserve these punishments. After all this happens, the protagonist decides to transfer to another school to complete his studies in peace, without memories that torment his head. The whole class says goodbye to him, feeling great sadness, and even the most unexpected boys shake his hand, wishing him the best of luck in his future. Then he leaves, with his heart full of the friends he made along the way. A year later, we see a physically better Sejun, who meets his brother, who takes him to his old school, where memories of the elections and the people with whom he shared these moments come to his mind. And he realizes that reputation and prestige are not the important things in life, but that it is the friendships and loves that accompany you on the way, which truly give light to your soul